Your phone is sitting on your passenger seat. Blue lights in the mirror. Officer walks up, takes your license, comes back, and then says it. Go ahead and unlock your phone for me. What you say in the next 10 seconds determines whether that officer scrolls through every text, every photo, every app on your device, or walks back to his cruiser empty-handed. Most people unlock it, not because they have something to hide, because nobody ever told them they didn't have to. Here's what's wild. The Supreme Court already decided this case, unanimously. 9 justices, every single one agreed. Get a warrant. And the ruling says something most Americans will never hear unless someone like me tells them directly. I'm going to give you the exact phrase to use. I'm going to back it up with the actual case law so you understand why it works. Because knowing why is the only thing that keeps you calm enough to actually say it. And I'm going to show you what that officer does after you say it. Because there is a move they make next, and most people fold right there. I'll shut that down too before we're done. Stick with me. Here's what most Americans never figure out. When a cop asks to see your phone, that doesn't feel like a search. It feels like a question. Friendly, casual, almost like he's just curious.
That's not an accident. That casual tone is doing something very specific. It's designed to make you feel like saying no is suspicious, like only someone with something to hide would hesitate. Here's the truth. He doesn't know if you know your rights. The second you reach for that phone, he knows you don't. And once you hand it over voluntarily, you have just consented to a search. No warrant needed, no probable cause needed. You gave it away for free. What you thought was cooperation, that was a gift, and you didn't have to give it. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because the law is on your side, and that officer is counting on you not knowing it. In 2014, the Supreme Court took up a case called Riley v. California. David Riley was pulled over for expired tags. Officers searched his phone after arrest and found evidence that tied him to a shooting. The case went all the way to the top. And the Supreme Court, all 9 justices, not one dissenting, ruled that police cannot search your phone without a warrant. Not during a traffic stop, not even after a lawful arrest. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote the opinion himself. He said modern smartphones are not just phones. He said they contain a digital record of nearly every aspect of a person's life. And he said the old rules about searches incident to arrest do not apply to them. That was not a close call. That was a unanimous decision protecting your phone from warrantless searches. Full stop. Then, in 2018, the court went even further in Carpenter v. United States. They ruled that police cannot pull your location history from your carrier without a warrant. 5 justices to 4. Chief Justice Roberts wrote that one too. The court recognized that digital data reveals things about a person that no physical search ever could. 9 justices on Riley, 5 on Carpenter. 2 landmark rulings, both moving in the same direction. Your phone is protected, and the officer at your window already knows it. He's just hoping you don't. Real quick, if this is the first time you're seeing this channel, subscribe before you keep watching. Everything I tell you is backed by real case law. I don't do opinions, I don't do guesses. Every video I make is sourced, verified, and built to actually protect you. That's rare. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, here's the problem. Knowing the law and knowing what to say are 2 completely different things. You're sitting in that car, blue lights still going. Officer is standing at your window waiting. Your heart is moving fast. You can't just go silent, because silence in response to a direct question reads as hostile and escalates the stop. You can't get aggressive, because the moment your tone shifts, you lose every practical advantage you just earned legally. And you can't just hand it over, because now you know exactly what that costs you. So what do you actually say? I'm about to show you. All right, here are the exact words. Write these down. Officer, I mean no disrespect, but I don't consent to searches of my phone. If you have a warrant, I'll comply fully. That's it. That's the whole phrase. When you say,
I don't consent to searches, you are creating a legal record, right there at the window, out loud. That record matters if this ever ends up in front of a judge. When you say, if you have a warrant, I'll comply fully, you are telling that officer two things at once. You know your rights, and you are not a problem. You are not refusing to cooperate with law enforcement. You are cooperating with the law. Calm tone, hands visible, no attitude, just those words. Now, I already know what you're thinking. What if he doesn't back down? Here's where most people get got. The officer looks at you and says, I can get a warrant right now if I need to. You say, that is absolutely your right, officer. I'll wait. Dead serious. Say exactly that. Because here's what just happened legally. You called it. If he had probable cause strong enough for a warrant, he would have led with that. The threat of a warrant is almost always a pressure tactic. And you just showed him it doesn't work on you. He comes back with, you're making this harder than it needs to be.
I'm not trying to make anything difficult. I just don't consent to searches. Repeat it if you have to. Same words, same calm tone. You are a brick wall dressed in politeness. And there is nothing in the law that requires you to be anything else. Remember I told you there was a move cops make even after you do everything right? Here it is. Some officers will say, if you've got nothing to hide, just show me. That line is not a legal argument. It is a guilt trip in a uniform. Your rights do not disappear because someone questions your reason for using them. The Supreme Court already answered that question in Riley. You don't need to explain yourself. You just need to hold the line. I don't consent to searches. If you have a warrant, I'll comply fully. That's your line. That's the law. That's your phone. Protected. But here's what I didn't cover yet. What happens when that same officer, after everything we just went through, looks you dead in the eye and says, show me your ID? Because that's their next move, and most people completely fall apart right there. I made a video breaking down the exact words for that situation. It's right here. Watch it now. Don't miss it.